Staying with us on the show, lovely Monday morning, TMI. Of course, it's still our countdown to the 2022 World Cup, tagged Qatar 2022. Endeavor to be part of what we're doing here on ITV Radio as a sponsor, as a partner, just to ensure we're able to bring you all of the happenings as far as the World Cup 2022 is concerned. There's such a huge platform you can take advantage of and advertise your goods and services. The World Cup is the biggest event worldwide, whether you like it or not. So don't stay idle and leave your business out of such an opportunity. Okay, let's get talking politics. The presidential campaign for 2023 is in full swing, has gone on full throttle. And just like our Royal Majesty said recently when the PDP presidential candidate Alhaji Atiku Abubakar visited, only God will decide who becomes Nigeria's next president come 2023. But the people are speaking, the people are mobilizing, and what all of those mobilization will turn to, or whether it will come to naught, only time will tell. I've got my panelists here on the show who will be sharing their thoughts with us on the program. Specifically, they are young people, because we see that in this election, young people are speaking, they are making their position known. And so we'll continue on that platform. The presidential campaign is now in full swing. Messages are coming forward. How does these messages resonate with us is our major talking point today, against the background of the realities on the ground as far as the country is concerned. Let me begin with you, Shedrack.
Yes, very clearly the candidates are out. The parties and their supporters are mobilizing actively. They are engaging the Nigerian people, letting them know exactly what they have to offer. And consensuously, they are speaking to the character, the capacity. They are rolling out the programs to tell the person, this is exactly what we have. A lot of persons will be coming to you with such sweet-talking sounding words, but we have the capacity to deliver. Many are saying we have delivered in time past, and we are coming back to ensure that even the mistakes we made before, we are not going to be making it again going into the next election. And other parties are coming out to say, yes, you know, we've not voted us before, please try us and let us see what we can do. So the messages are out. Nigerians are holding back. They are looking at the message critically. They are analyzing it, extracting the candidates, and wanting the candidate to speak for themselves so that they can also see the capacity. Because it is easy for you to put together some nicely woven words and give to someone to read out to a well-seated audience. But it's difficult for a man to speak consensuously from his heart, articulate his plans, because all of those things will reveal who the man truly is to the Nigerian people. So Nigerians are waiting, we are seated, we are glued, and we are waiting to see exactly how robust we will engage and chart a clear course for 2023.
All right, Collins, how engaging are these messages? These messages that are coming forth, are they convincing? Are they convicting the minds of Nigerians?
Thank you very much. Over the time, we have always had convincing words by politicians. When the time comes like this, they have all the sugar tongue, they know all the intrigues, they know what to say at the right time, they know what to do to get the people. But the truth is that not until you are given the opportunity to show what you can do, you really don't know. Until you try them, you don't know them. So it's not by mere say, it's not by mere words. Because over the time, even after the indirect rule system left, even after those who came to amalgamate us left, we started talking to ourselves. Even from our families, we started assuring ourselves of wanting to bring about those things we saw, those persons who came, you know, to work on us in their own way, had left. We said, okay, we're going to do what they have exactly over there. But repeatedly, we have seen us promising ourselves and failing even right to our faces. But the truth is that from little we have tried of people, we can assess them from there. Not by mere say, not by words. Even if, let me tell you, even when people choose to prepare documents for you to read, sometimes, do you know from what you read, you will then have a blueprint. And you begin to work with that blueprint. Okay. Not that you just go to the pulpit or you go to the people, you say what you wouldn't even remember. And at the end of the day, you say, oh, he's so articulating. He has something upstairs. It's not by having something upstairs. It's by having an empirical evidence, which will escort you to when you are set to start delivering.
All right. Idris, let's get your take on how these messages address the current problems of the country. The messages that are coming forth, are they addressing the heart and the core of the problems confronting this country?
First of all, I believe in West. I believe that if we don't believe in West, we will first of all not be here talking. The very essence of us being here is to talk. Our nation is at a crossroad. We have 65% unemployment when you combine it with underemployment. We have 20 million out of school children. We have endemic, institutionalized corruption. So endemic that it seems that nobody's able to do anything about it. More than 40% of our oil wealth is being stolen. We should be able to, on the strength of the problems that faces us today, assess each candidate based on what they are saying. So, the scriptures is very clear. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. So when a candidate is speaking, we are able to assess what they are thinking. So, there are tidbits from what each candidate have said. Some have said, "Emi lokan, it is my turn." Some others have said, "You don't need to vote a Yoruba man or an Igbo man. Vote only a Fulani man." Some others have said, "We need to start pulling people out of poverty. We need to re-engineer the cost of governance in our country." So when you juxtapose, put side by side, all the comments of these principal actors, you can come to the conclusion that Nigeria has one and only one way to go in the next election. And well, we have to wait to see, because the campaign is still young. We need to hear them also speak and see what they have to say. And hopefully, as we go further, they will leave the rancorous, self-serving, ethnocentric, religiocentric campaign toga and adopt a more nationalistic, a more altruistic campaign, so that we can have better debates. Most of the debates now are gutter debates. Let's have more concise, more... I want to be able to debate issues, because the candidate I'm supporting is all about issues. So, but when we don't have those issues to debate, it even diminishes the intelligence of those of us who want to debate issues.
Okay, let me pause you there. And that brings me to the core of the conversation, yes. That the messages that are there in the public space in terms of engaging the people doesn't really address the core issues of governance, insecurity, economy, exchange rate, corruption, oil theft, and all of that. Are you bothered about this?
I am seriously not bothered, because let me go straight for the jugular. My candidate in particular, the president of Atiku, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, has put forth an elaborate document known as the Unity Seed.
Yeah, I want us to emphasize the candidate. Let's focus on
those things you've mentioned.
Yes,
now,
yes.
They are fully encapsulated in this agenda that he has brought forward. From the unity to the security and development, security, the economy, the empowerment, or the education, and also the devolution of power to ensure that there's proper restructuring and functionment of government at the center.
So how come the best message he could sell when he was having an engagement in the north was, don't vote for Yoruba man, don't vote for an Igbo man? How come?
No, the challenge we had in that place was that
yes.
he sat in the Northern Elders Forum. The meeting
so he was playing the ethnic card, not engaging them based on the issues the country is having, based on the problem the country is having.
A question was asked,
yes.
A direct question was asked by Akin Baba Ahmed, and he gave a direct answer.
Okay.
What people took was to take the answer from, because you cannot separate the message from the man. A man who asks a question, you can't separate this person, the person that the message from the question. So he answered the person who the man represents as the voice of the Northern Elders Forum in connection with the question he asked. So you cannot take that answer and give it to an Igbo man who sits down in his house. Because that is not, an Igbo man didn't ask that question. A Yoruba man didn't ask that question. It was an answer man speaking for the interest of the Arewa that asked a question to him, who is a Northerner, why sitting in a Northern country? So that question was indirectly, it was totally misinterpreted and misconstrued by persons who just want to make a mohi out of nothing. So that question was totally out of place.
Okay.
To be misinterpreted by public.
All right. Let's come back to you, Collins Amadi Okosara. Beyond the rhetorics of it's my turn, it's not my turn. There have been concerns about the capacity to deliver. There have been concerns about the message of engagement with the people, with the Nigerian electorate, to either sway them or dissuade them, as the case may be. What's your take on this?
You know, it's quick for antagonists to pick out that which they can emphasize to demerit the person they feel they are not comfortable with. And now when my principal, the great Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, said,
yeah, just like I said, let's try and play down these
yes.
names.
When he said,
focus on the issues.
okay,
Yes,
good.
yes.
When he said it was my turn, it was an Yoruba language that was used. And that was before our primary. Days before our primary.
And he was also talking to
his
ethnic
I am
people.
coming.
Yeah,
I am
his
coming,
tribe.
sir.
His tribe.
He was talking to his people.
Yeah.
Say, not until you are prepared for something. You don't ask for it. You don't go for it.
Okay.
You take your time to work on yourself. If over the time, his people have over the time yearned for him to run for the president of the Federal Republic, because he had all the capacity, he had the wisdom, he had the technocratism, he had the academics, he has the strength, and he has the finances to also muzzle it if it comes to that. And he had told them over the time, when it is time, I must see how clear it is to come. I don't just run for election because I want to run for election. Because he is one candidate I can tell you, I ran for elections and I've never lost elections. Now, I prepare myself to go for things. When it is my turn to go, I will let you know. And at this point, the primary was tensed. There was tense. There was tension. So many persons went in to bring in many Yoruba likes to make them want to divide the vote that probably will come from there. And he told them what he was addressing them. You people have always asked me to come. But I believe this time it is my turn. And I have come. And behold, they went there and they proved to him that it was a storm. Okay. So you using APC primary language in the general election, then so be it. Okay. If you could help us propagate the fact that he said it is a storm, then it be his turn in Jesus' name. Okay. But however, now living is my turn because he was ready. Okay. He has worked over the time. He knew the situation of this country over the time. He has been part of it. He has been part of the solutions we have had today. Lagos is the 10th largest economy in Africa because he joined to build a system that made it so. Even in the international rating, Lagos have been pulled out of Nigeria. They see Lagos as a different entirety. Now we have heard other people in every facet. Is it youth empowerment? Okay. Is it infrastructure? Is it economic think tank? He has all of them in place. He has first team, second team, third team, and fourth team. He didn't just come out because he felt he can blackmail others to want to get a vote for sentiment. Okay. No, that is why you see the grace he has cut across all the regions of this country. Now, before I finally land.
Yeah, let me pause you. I'll come to you a moment. I'll come to you. See, we have to take it turn by turn.
But you are not working with time.
I am.
Okay, then.
I am. Okay. Absolutely, I am. Because I know I have very limited time. Let me get Idris. Idris, the part of our conversation that I like to get your perspectives on is the thinking that the Nigeria of today is different from the Nigeria of yesterday. And to get the Nigeria of tomorrow, we have to have a new set of leadership come on board. But unfortunately, those we have presenting themselves for this leadership position, they have been part of the yesterday and the today. So how are they going to be able to change the Nigeria of tomorrow or give us a new Nigeria?
I think they were not part of yesterday. They stole our yesterday, they are stealing our today, and they are warming up, if care is not taken, to steal our tomorrow. The two other candidates are majorly product of since 1993. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was a senator in 1993. Atiku Abubakar has been in the political space since 1993. Won elections as governor in 1999. The only candidate who represents a breath of fresh air is the candidate of Peter Obi.
Was a governor in what year?
He was a governor in 2009. So
a governor for 8 years.
Yeah,
and a special advisor for 3 years to the president. Don't confuse me.
Let's take our time.
Let's take your time.
Let's take our time.
Into another
in 1999, we knew was the governor of Anambra State. We knew was the vice president of Nigeria. So let's not play politics. It's good. We can come here. We can use fancy words. We can try to demean each other. But three of us sitting here, and as a matter of fact, four of us sitting here, and the cameraman understand that today, in today's Nigeria, we need solutions provider. Not those who believe, is it not even immoral that a Fulani, forgive my ethnic language, that a man from the same region wants to take over from his own brother after 8 years in governance in a country that has 530 ethnic groups? Is it not immoral that a man who purportedly has godsons that have been vice president and governor now wants to become president, even when, obviously, I hate to talk about it, and I wish him well, even when his body, his physical frame cannot carry the demands of office? We have had these challenges. Now we need somebody who is younger, somebody who is experienced, somebody who has the heart, who has love in his heart to give, somebody who has done it before and wants to do it again, somebody who understands the issues. And I'm not here to campaign, but let's stay on the issues. We cannot continue the way we are. It is not a man who can say, standing in front of his brothers to say, don't vote for Yoruba man or an Igbo man. That is not the kind of character we need in governance. That is divisiveness. In fact, as a matter of fact, that is a crime under the Electoral Act. Because it is said under the Electoral Act that you must not campaign with ethnicism and religion. If we cannot say it here because of NBC, why should the presidential candidate have the right to say, don't vote for an Igbo man or an Hausa man? And the other candidate that is saying that it is my turn. See, no matter how you try to spin it, no matter how you try to spin it, we know that the man is running only to add former president to his curriculum vitae. Okay, so and the question I'm asking is that you will not take CV to heaven. There is no looking for job in heaven. So why do you need to put on your CV that you were a former president? Why not relax?
Did he tell you that?
Well,
did he tell you
it's
that?
Obvious.
I'm sure he didn't tell you that. Anyway, I'll pause it there, Idris. Quickly, how are the people responding to these messages?
Let me quickly, first of all,
yes.
You know, the idea of it being immoral for a Fulani man to hand over to a Fulani man speaks to the question of ethnicity, regionalism, and the separation of, and the rotation of power. Yeah. See, there are many parameters that are being used in judging who becomes president. There's what we call capacity, competence, and character. There's what we call the experience and the capacity to deliver on whatever mandate is needed. Let me tell you, the idea of say Fulani man, see the history of the turn of Fourth Republic in 1999, the best governor as it appears today in statistics is a Fulani man, Shehu Musa Yar'Adua. He's the best president Nigeria has ever had. So the question of wanting to play this ethnic card, wanting to say it's we against them, wanting to polarize the politics, at the same time accusing another candidate of polarizing the politics is totally uncalled for, it's unheard of, it's unethical, it's immoral. Okay. And the idea of saying that somebody perhaps have been in power before, has built capacity, has built competence, and now wants to offer himself in these trying times. Haven't they before now has moved together, mobilized, and brought a candidate that has sunk Nigeria deep into this mess? Because where we are today is not where we ever envisaged. When they said they don't want Jonathan, they want something new. Buhari's entry into Nigerian democracy was a political experiment. They said they wanted, let me give you a clear analysis. We started in 1999, we had the president of Olusegun Obasanjo. He came into power, stabilized the Nigerian economy, paid off the debt, and tried to institutionalize democracy into the hearts of the Nigerian people. And to a large extent, he did well.
Very correct.
He was backed behind by the current president, Atiku Abubakar. Then he handed over power to Shehu Musa Yar'Adua, who was from the north. They claimed that he was unpicked. Nobody saw him as a messiah. But when he came into power, he began to change things. Okay. Nobody saw that coming.
That's Umar Musa
Yar'Adua, sorry. He came into power, he delivered governance. And we all know what happened, that his life was cut short by the incidents of death, and Goodluck Jonathan came to power. Not very clear that was PDP that brought Olusegun Obasanjo, PDP brought Shehu Musa Yar'Adua. And you know how Goodluck Jonathan came. With all due respect to Goodluck Jonathan, he came into the party, he could not really have the courage and the power to muster governance, and he slashed to pedestrianism. So Nigerians now fed that.
But it was better than what we have today.
That's what I'm going to. Okay. So when he slashed governance to pedestrianism, and people felt that this man didn't have the balls to muzzle this insurgents from the north, then they said they wanted something new, something novel, something that they've never tried before. A pure political experiment. They brought out a retired and tired military general, embraced him in bright clothing, and shoved it down the throat of Nigerians. At that point, they made it look like, no, you were supporting PDP, had no sense in your head. And that's the same thing they are doing now. You see, these people behave like children. You know, for a child, when you give him a new toy is always the best, irrespective of whether it is better than what he had before. And now they are preparing a new toy for Nigerian children. And they are excited. They are saying, we'll vote for Peter, we'll vote for the Bobi. This man, like, actually, let us see that carry and analyze the antecedents. See, let me tell you.
How does this resonate with the people, the electorate? They quickly got that point.
The electorate, let me quickly
how they respond to this?
The electorate must know that we've been through this part before. In this kind of difficult times, we're supposed to look for a party and a candidate that have proven in time past to have delivered. Let it take us from this depth and bring us to where we were and we are at least managing. So that from there we can't begin to talk of political experiment. We can't go from one failure to another failure. It will be too disastrous. Nigeria cannot wake up from
Okay, all right. Collins, let's get you to respond or react to some of these issues along the line about capacity to deliver and looking at our country historically and politically, where we are coming from, where we are today. I mean, the feeling that Nigeria has never had it so bad. And for that reason, there is no point continuing with what we have on the go.
Thank you very much. First, I want to touch on one point. For my brother, he talked about somebody with capacity.
Yes.
Now, if they want to really, let's even astray, someone with capacity, I'm sure he had more capacity than the candidate of the PDP. Why have I not said that? Now, yes, you do have more than him.
Yes, now, elective position.
Now let me tell you. At what point has he been in government that he had made any positive impact? Is it by way of privatization? That he privatized Nigerian property from that was all to $1 trillion into 100,000 naira to his friends? The documents are there. His principal has spoken over the time that he has never seen any worse thing in his life than having Atiku as his running mate. Before he came back from travel, he has sold everything. So my brother, let's not even go there, because it's quite unfortunate. Is it to talk about my other friend, Mr. Obi, who was a governor and could not have one youth empowerment scheme for 8 years? Not one for youth. Or is it a man when you talk about plain politics of hatred? Or is somebody that just went to churches, programs, and telling the church to take the government back? The government is supposed to belong, government is supposed to belong to the church. Church can't take government back by allowing me as your president. Created division between the Christian and the Muslim by way of his attitude, which we saw. They are all on high. So how can you say such a person has what it takes? Now, those two people are just to escort Asiwaju to presidency. He will offer them job in the area they can excel. No problem about that. Now, when we talk about Nigeria being bad the way it is now, I agree. Things didn't go well. Because you could recall, I've been your guest over the time, that when Buhari, His Excellency, became president, after his first year, I started crying. I said, you are using first 11 that are not functional. Why don't you change them? It is, this game of governance is like a football. When you put someone in this agency, in this ministry is not forthcoming, you quickly make adjust. You put them to where they fit in. But unfortunately, because of the kind of politics we play in this country, of ethnicism, if that person is not working, the whole community will come and pay you courtesy visit because they are already suspecting you want to change the person and demand that you must not remove this person. If you remove, you are playing politics of ethnicity. Okay. Now that is where we have run ourselves. Okay. Unfortunately, even when it was to come for second thing, the only few minutes I had excuse from APC, I went to PDP and quickly returned back home, was because Buhari was given second time. I said, if the first 11 he didn't change them, I don't believe he will ever change them. So I don't believe he will deliver. I left to support a man who lost the election and left for Dubai and never returned back. So you can see the whole irony. But however, I went back home to help them to rebuild the home, and I'm happy I'm back there. This time is not about the president. It is about who is coming. Because let me tell you, Nigeria does not have a political parties with manifestos. We are only just screaming party and just wanting to blackmail party. Party is an entity. The people run it, give the bets into party. Okay. And let me tell you, if party have a way of functioning, why today that each candidate are bringing out manifestos? Are we not supposed to be presenting party manifestos? Yeah. At which every party candidate will be following. Which one I'm coming, sir. But instead, I'm coming. I'm trying to tell you because we shouldn't screen party we should screen candidates.
All right.
Because party produces people who either go there to fail or to do well. But however, Buhari has also done badly in all sectors.
All right, let me pause you there. Idris, give us your take on the feelings of Nigerians towards the realities of the presidential candidates going into 2020.
I can understand the passion of my brothers. At a time, we're all on the same political side. Today, everybody don't share your own grace. But look, passion is not enough. The reality on ground speaks different. He mentioned, he spoke very glowingly about the candidate of Atiku Abubakar. Of course not. The only way you can assess anybody is the recommendation of his boss. And in page 31, my watch, Olusegun Obasanjo made it abundantly clear that Atiku is the worst thing that can happen to Nigeria. His beliefs in Marabout. He's shady. He was born in Jada, Cameroon, northern Cameroon, and now claims to be in Nigeria against the constitution of Nigeria. You see the rancor that is going on in his own party, the People's Democratic Party. You imagine a unifier that cannot unify his political party. So, look, Atiku is not an option. And in all fairness, I will be pleasantly surprised if he gets 5% of the vote in any of the 17 states in the South, since he said that no Northerner should vote, either a Southerner, or either an Igbo man or a Yoruba man. So Atiku is not even an option. I mean, all clear-headed people should not think about it. And when you talk about ethnicity and this, we live in a multi-ethnic society. What was appetite? That one ethnic group was dominating over the other, correct? Sure. So why should one ethnic group be in power for 16 years? And you want me not to talk about ethnicity and religion? Whereas, where is the sensitivity? Where is the unification there when you hold on to one? But so that I don't exhaust my time on that, because it's not an option in Edo. We know Edo, we know ourselves. You forget the drama you are seeing. So, my own brother here supporting Asiwaju. The good thing is that I'm in Lagos. They have said that Asiwaju made Lagos. I disagree. Lagos made Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Before Asiwaju became governor of Lagos, there was a certain Brigadier General Buba Marwa that was governor. Lagos has been in existence since Lagos is older than Asiwaju, since colonial times. So how can you now say that he built Lagos? Look, Asiwaju may be a good man. He has built people, but it cannot excuse the fact that as in today's Nigeria, we don't need a man that is allegedly hand they shake, leg they shake. We need somebody who is strong, who is able, who has the capacity to deliver. Look, let's talk about Peter Obi for a moment. We need this.
That would be outright campaign, which I said.
Yes,
let's talk about the issues as it relates to Peter Obi.
Yes,
we need a man who understands the issue. One, we need a man who has empathy. We need a man who is clear-headed. When he says, "I will pull people," we will pull people out of poverty. We have 100 million people in poverty, half of the country in poverty. When you say we will create employment, when we say we will empower people, and you can see it, you go to Anambra State, they made reference to Anambra that there was no single empowerment project. Anambra State has youth empowerment. Anambra State has the highest number of billionaires in Nigeria. You can go and verify.
Nigerian businesses.
Yes, Nigerian business. Anambra State has a system that can make a stark illiterate a billionaire. Go to Lagos, go to Abuja. They are building the biggest houses. Anambra here. So when they come and the industries is created are there. When he took Anambra from 26, of course, Hero is there now. Innocent is there. I can go on and on. Who is an industrial.
He owns Innocent.
You cannot compare. You cannot compare what is going on in Anambra to the Edo State we have today. In fact, here in Edo is double jeopardy. We have a failed incompetent state government, and we have a failed incompetent federal government.
We're not talking about Edo. We're talking about the presidential election.
Now, look, when he took Anambra from 26th in WAEC to 1st in WAEC, it was like a joke in a state where boys did not go to school. When he was able to meet up with MDGs, Millennium Development Goals, that Nigeria signed to, Edo signed to, Abuja signed to, and they could not meet up, it was like a joke. When he was able to raise millionaires, not by sharing money, when they say there was no youth empowerment, so you know we are used to the rentier system of sharing money. He empowered business, he put money in businesses, and that is what you should do.
All right, it's TMI,
so
it's TMI Monday, and we're just on the verge of capping our conversation up. 2023 presidential election, extracting the presidential campaign messages and how these messages resonate with the people. As is always the case, the electorate will decide the fate of the presidential candidate. I mean, in an ideal sense. But we know that within the context of Nigeria, a whole lot of undercurrents, you know, play certain things that changes certain things in certain direction. In terms of these messages, what are your expectations from the electorates in the 2023 elections?
I strongly believe that the Nigerian electorate, I'll quickly answer one because well, let me quick answer your
yes,
question.
You have 2 minutes, yeah.
To answer their question,
yes.
to answer.
You have 2 minutes, yes.
And 1 minute is gone.
Go ahead.
Very quickly, there is a new electoral law in place. And the Nigeria, to a large extent, has built the interest and the confidence of the Nigerian electorate going into this 2023 election, knowing that there's a new body of laws that has conspicuously captured their interest to ensure that no one vote goes to the ground without being captured. That is on its own. Then there is social media. The social media now has now taken a high form. Because in time past, what we used to have was a regular television where everybody goes to and watch. The government there shoves all manner of news into our throats, and we have no way of replying. It was a one-way traffic. But now there's a social media. When you post the news and the news is faulty and it's bad and it's lying, and you lies, and people go there and they engage you. And they let you know that these things you have said are totally found. They are baseless allegations that cannot be substantiated. So this interaction has built interest and engagement among the Nigerian people. So I see them that to a very large extent we have a very robust engagement. All we need now is for security of lives and property, which has been the failure of this current government, the APC government, to put in place. And that's why we are skeptical about. That's the only challenge we have, and it's the APC that have created that one. Manager, please permit me to answer what they said. They made some business allegation that Atiku, Olusegun Obasanjo named Atiku a thief. And I will give you a background to that.
He did say that. He did say that.
No, you should read page 31.
He did say that.
You should read
Obasanjo. They made allusions to it, and I've seen it in South Africa. I want to clearly air. During when Olusegun Obasanjo was president and Atiku Abubakar was vice president, Olusegun got to a point in his career, he became power drunk, and he said he wanted to go for a third term. So he went to mobilize the Senate and the House of Reps to amend the law to enable him to go for third term. There was only one man who had the capacity to stand strong, and that man was Atiku Abubakar. He stood firm in line with the rule of law.
That's not correct.
No, listen to me. And he said very clearly that as long as I am here, there will not be any rally in Nigeria.
Because he wanted to contest.
So whether he wanted to contest or not, that was the rule of law.
It was not the Senate or the House of Reps.
So he mobilized and frustrated the third term ambition of
so that's the grounds of...
yes, Olusegun was now bad that this man won't take out. I mean, that was the challenge he had. And in truth, if you look at it, if you exchange the personality of Olusegun, you know that he was very dictatorial. It was one that led to many staggered.
So how do you measure the performance of Atiku?
I put it up. If you look at Atiku, he was head of economy.
Now 15 minutes.
He was the one who integrated the Nigeria, expanded the Nigerian economy, recommended strategically the investment in the IT sector. And today, the IT sector is the most growing and the best and the growing fastest improving sector in the whole of Nigeria.
Okay.
You see, the man has done businesses in time past and has understood the Nigerian. See, we need to take time and look into that unity seed arrangement that he has put in place.
All right, can I call this quickly? Yes.
First, I want to thank my friend for appreciating the fact that the electoral system seems working and things are working. And we want to give it to the president for allowing this to happen. He also talked about the social media having a lot of independence now. We are also happy that the APC government, as he has said before now, headed by President Buhari, is giving all of this. And so I want to, as a way of advice and being a Christian, having also learned from the Bible that there are things we have power over, we talk about. There are things we don't have power over, that we don't mock people about. When you begin to mock people on head basis, like my Labour Party brother have over the time been doing. Now I am coming, my brother. You don't. It's a statement of fact. Are you his personal doctor or physician? So at what point have you resolved that this person is not living, or his head is not wise? I have a friend who were both alumni in our school soft stuff. Within 3 weeks ago at the time, he was always mocking. He said, this person is sick, he's almost dying, we soon die, we soon die. And in that platform, 2 days before he died, I was saying, there are things you don't have right over. The grace that work with A doesn't work with B. You don't challenge what God has done or what God is preparing. And at the end of the day, 3 days after he died, yes, and I told my friend, it was healthy, I'm coming. What happened? I asked. They said, in the night when he was about to sleep, he said his body was not fine. He's doing it somehow, and he died. So what you don't have right over, young people die while old people live. So you don't, it's not a crime to be old. Now when you talk about somebody, he's tested, he has a heart of sympathy, like he talked about. And I want to ask him again and reframingly, has he visited the very local government and constituency where his candidate come from, who refused to donate a transformer to his people when they went to beg him for transformer? He told them he's no more a governor, that he cannot give them transformer. that they should meet the governor. Now, is it such a person that have a sympathy heart? You know, that was how we ran ourselves into problem in Edo. That we said they are looking for people who will not share money.
Is that his responsibility?
It's not his
Of
responsibility.
course,
And as a matter of fact,
Hold on. Is that his
Of
responsibility?
course.
When you have a government in place,
Now,
isn't
let
that
me-
supposed to be the
let me
duty
tell you.
of the government?
Let me tell you.
Yes.
Even an individual, where I live,
Customers.
an individual contribute towards community development
Yes,
at
yes,
all times.
that's-
I am coming.
that's at your
I
discretion.
am coming, yes.
Yes.
And if your people feel you are better off than them, haven't also served them, they believe that the security vote you kept collecting, and that at least you have
Because
money.
you have
And they
the
come
right-
for
you have the
you.
right to accept, you have the right to reject.
Yes,
It's your
in
right.
rejecting when you have,
Yes.
then you don't have a heart of sympathy.
Okay, all right.
That is very enforcing.
get
It doesn't have a heart of
Idris.
sympathy.
Final word.
In the final analysis, Nigerians understand the issues, and as we approach the election, they are going to decide on those issues. I've been to Agulu, the village of Peter Obi, so there's no such thing. It's purely social media discussion. But we just to state the point that it will be a mistake of colossal proportions if again we make the mistake of electing a president who is either an absentee president like the gentle grandfather that spends half of his time in Dubai, or who is either battling one health challenge or the other. I am not mocking anybody. If I have malaria, I say I have malaria. There's no crime in being sick. What we are saying is that your own private estate, your own private health challenges should not rub off on the glory, on the prosperity of the country. That is it. So I'm not mocking anybody. I have
But
parents.
that's exactly what you are doing.
In the final analysis,
that's what you keep doing.
Nigerians understand what they are doing. In the next election, the decision is going to be firm and final.
Very fine.
When I came into Edo State 4 days ago, when I saw the texture, the environment, the thinking, I said we are almost getting there.
Okay.
So,
Because the government of the day is also the one that owns labor. Don't worry yourself.
Hold on. People cannot.
Let the government pull out of labor in Edo. You will not have far.
They don't also own it in
All right,
Lagos.
now
Okay,
that's the much we have. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. I want to say big thanks to our panelists. Idris, thank you. It's always a delight to have you here.
Thank you so
Collis
much.
Amadi, thank you.
Thank
the
you
energy
for
that you
having
bring.
me.
And, Shedrack, thank you for all the contributions. We'll take a short break, but just to remind us that Nigeria is ours and the destiny is in our hands, and we must do what is required to ensure that we change the narratives in 2023. I've heard people say 2023 election is like a watershed. I believe strongly, but if that will happen, that responsibility is on all of us. As the media, that's why we're here. That's why we're having this conversation, to give you different views and perspectives so you can make a firm decision. It's not enough to be on social media. It's not enough to talk on the sides. Do you have your PVC? Go get your PVC and vote the candidate of your choice come 2023. We'll take a short break. Today is World Polio Day. Our panelists are already here to share some thought with us on that. Don't go away.